On June 9, 2022, LIV Golf started an invitational series and an endless series of controversies began. One of the most buzzing controversies is about the professional PGA golfer Phil Mickelson. Initially, Mickelson was not ready to be part of LIV Golf, but later he grabbed the opportunity. Some sources say he has no choice but to resign from PGA, and some sources say Mickelson was pressurized due to the $40 million debt he owes because of gambling. In this video, we'll talk about everything about Phil Mickelson, so just stick to the screen for the next few minutes. First, we'll see who is Phil Mickelson. Then we'll talk about the controversy. Later, we'll see responses from others. And finally, we'll talk about what's next for Phil Mickelson. So let's begin with who is Phil Mickelson. Philip Alfred Mickelson was born on June 16, 1970, in San Diego, a city on the Pacific coast of California. According to a post published on his own website, Mickelson was born to be a golfer. He was merely 1.5 years old when his father handed him a homemade golf club. His winnings list is endless and includes Telecom Open 1991, Buick Invitational 1993, Sprint International 1993, Mercedes Championship 1994, Northern Telecom 1995, Nortel Open 1996, Phoenix Open 1996, GTE Byron Nelson 1996, NEC World Series 1996, Bay Hill Invitational 1997, Sprint International 1997, Mercedes Championship 1998, AT&T Pebble Beach 1998, Buick Invitational 2000, Bell South Classic 2000, MasterCard Colonial 2000, Bob Hope Chrysler Classic 2002, Bob Hope Chrysler Classic 2004, Masters 2004, Exelon Invitational 2004. The golf genius was once crowned the golden boy of golf by many sports writers and Hall of Fame golfers. So now the question is, what is the controversy and how did he get involved? What is the controversy? Mickelson made his debut in the LIV Golf Series in June. According to some sources, the 2021 PGA Tour champion received a hefty paycheck to play in the inaugural season of the Invitational tournament. Because of his earlier association with PGA Tour, he had to face numerous consequences, and one of them is suspension from PGA. But according to Mickelson, he was suspended even before his debut in the LIV Golf Series. PGA Tour accused Mickelson of attempting to recruit players to join LIV Golf. Some reports say, initially, the suspension was issued for 2 months. However, later it was extended by 2 years, which caused professional harm to Mickelson. After the suspension, Mickelson had no other choice but to make an antitrust claim. Unfortunately, the court dismissed the antitrust suit. Another controversy began when a conversation between Mickelson and American sports writer Alan Shipnuck was disclosed. When LIV Golf League was announced, Mickelson kept quiet. According to Saudi officials, the concept of the league was to introduce a new gaming format with impressive winning amounts. However, PGA says they're trying to draw the top golfers in the world away from the PGA with 8- and 9-figure payments just to join. The league is funded by LIV Golf Investments, which is backed by Public Investment Fund. But it's actually the financial arm of the Saudi Arabian government. So, Saudi Arabian government is indirectly involved with this tournament. According to Shipnuck, in February, Mickelson had called him and they had a long discussion. Some of the contexts of the conversation read, "They're scary motherfuckers to get involved with," and "We know they killed Washington Post reporter and U.S. resident Jamal Khashoggi and have a horrible record on human rights. They execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all of this, why would I even consider it? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates. They've been able to get by with manipulative, coercive, strong-arm tactics because we, the players, had no recourse. As nice a guy as PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan comes across as, unless you have leverage, he won't do what's right. And the Saudi money has finally given us that leverage. I'm not sure I even want the SGL to succeed, but just the idea of it is allowing us to get things done with the PGA Tour. In that long conversation, Mickelson also mentioned PGA as a dictatorship. During an interview with Golf Digest, Mickelson said, "It's not public knowledge, all that goes on, but the players don't have access to their own media. If the tour wanted to end any threat from Saudi or anywhere else, they could just hand back the media rights to the players. But they would rather throw $25 million here and $40 million there than give back the roughly $20 billion in digital assets they control, or give up access to the $50+ million they make every year on their own media channel." There are many issues, but that is one of the biggest. The LIV Golf has proved to be the toughest ever competitor to the PGA Tour, and PGA had no other choice than to change their policies. Recently, they announced some changes, including guaranteed incomes for all players and increased prize funds for a number of elevated events. What people say. On Thursday, October 13th, at a press conference in Jeddah, Mickelson was asked about his comments made on LIV Golf, and he denied giving the interview to Alan Shipnuck. Right after his answer, social media flocked with criticism, and many golf fans even made jokes about his statement. A Twitter user with the handle Jeff O said, "That's not Phil Mickelson, it's Mickelson Phil. Two totally different people." Now Mickelson Phil has never done an interview with Shipnuck. Sean Zach said, "Phil Mickelson did not do an interview with Alan Shipnuck. Scotty Scheffler did not win the Masters. Dylan Dethier did not hit an all-time shank at Royal Liverpool." Amanda Rose. Phil Mickelson timeline. February. Saudis are scary MFers. His words. March. The interview was off the record. October. There was no interview. Phil lies more than a Persian rug. What's next for Phil Mickelson? Now, Phil Mickelson banned from the PGA, and he is playing golf for LIV. From his perspective, it's better to be with a new rising golf concept like LIV, but from another perspective, in the future, he will have no choice but to play for LIV even if the organizer pays less or they change their policies. What do you think, guys? Please share your comments about this issue. If you liked the video, please tap the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button along with the tiny bell icon.